Zach, it's take 6. Do the bass lick again.
Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance, spin that record, babe. Da-da-doo-doo, just lately I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. Lately I've
Oh
been praying
god.
hard. So no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. I see fire over the mountain, I see fire. I don't see fire at all.
Sorry.
uh,
Okay. All right.
do
Let's.
do 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 Mortal Kombat. Okay, that's what
Uh,
I got.
all right, Zach. Let's run through the greatest hits of all the bits that we did in the 15 minutes of the episode that we had to scrap. Uh,
We had so many jokes in there,
Zach.
and we rambled for 50. We were 16 minutes into the video just rambling when we realized we could not publish a video where somebody says the theory starts at 17 minutes and 28
No,
seconds.
that's
I'm like,
not why.
oh, okay. And some of the jokes are questionable. We did get to the theory that every single Roosevelt was the same time traveling Roosevelt. Uh,
Something something. You must be really good with your fingers. Winks.
yeah, there was some lewd jokes in there, of which I will decline to comment.
There's a couple of loot jokes. A couple of Oh no.
Okay, sorry, go
There we
ahead.
go. Oh no, my I need to install new drivers for my. Oh no, what a disaster! Uh okay, get rid of all this. It's fine. We're not using the pen today. Get rid of it. Zach, I have a theory for you.
You have a
There's a
theory
nerd
for
poll in
me.
the description. Please
There is.
subscribe.
There's a nerd poll in the description. Yeah, it is secret Targaryen. So if you have a theory of somebody who's a Targaryen or a Blackfire or a Bright Flame or something of that sort, and we don't know about it, or maybe we do know about it, it does just say name a member of House Targaryen, but I suppose it could be a offshoot dynasty. Submit that name, and we are going to list all of them in a future video, the same way we did the babies of Bobby B. So we are at 24, which is great because before we started the last recording, we were at 22. So they're still getting active stuff in there. Wow. We've already gotten several of them that aren't actually from Song of Ice and Fire at all, and those will be fun.
Oh my
Uh,
god, what a disaster. That video is going to be awful.
Oh, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that one.
Zach, I have a
Uh,
theory for you today.
you have a theory for me.
Yeah. This is called "Give Me Another Card," and also some other stuff. It doesn't really have rules. You know how it works, Zach. I have a theory and a list of clues, and you're gonna try to weave your way through that evidence to figure out the theory. And if you ever can't, you're gonna say, "Tom, deal me a card," and I'm gonna deal you a card. Zach, we've been doing this for half an hour.
We have been chatting
Talk.
for half an hour, attempting to start a video, and here it is. Here's the quote I have already read once, and I correctly guessed that it was John DeSantis Baratheon.
Correct.
It is John saying, John couldn't help but laugh. If you think you can just wed Val to me and you have a great deal to learn about wildling women. Whoever weds her better be willing to climb in that window and steal her. And I chatted a little bit about John and Egret because John is not aware of this custom when he accidentally performs it. He, in like a way to get himself out of a bad situation, captures Egret, not realizing that by doing that he's marrying her, uh, and that's kind of cute for John because he had no way of knowing what he was getting himself into. It's kind of messed up that this is a wildling tradition at all because it's wrong on so many levels.
Uh,
We forgive John for it because he was absolutely clueless in the context of what he was doing. But it's
uh,
it's a sort of messed up tradition.
uh, Ding. By the way. Uh, John breaks his knight's
We're in
but
red.
knight's watch oath by marrying Egret.
Yeah, technically, his I should take no wives, and by his definition, he had no idea he was doing that. But by Wildling definition, they are absolutely 100% married.
I'm
Like as
reminded of
far
a
as
scene from maybe it was I think it was Bones
I
where
was thinking sorry, I was thinking of a Deep Space Nine episode, but tell me about this Bones thing.
in an episode of and someone please describe this scene to me in the comments. One of the characters in Bones went to some tropical country where she didn't speak the language, and she did this like fun ceremony and then ended up getting laid with one of the people there. And they told her the next day that she was married. She was like, haha, that's fun. Then she went home. And then 3 years later, she was applying for a job with top secret security clearance, and they showed up and were like, "You're married, and we're trying to make sure that your allegiance is within the United States."
That's that's the plot of Miss Saigon.
Is that the
Uh,
plot of? Is that what Miss Saigon's about?
Miss Saigon is about a soldier in Vietnam who, it's almost like they have a ceremony that's sort of like the sailor's wife and the sailor's widow or whatever in Bravos or where that is, where she uh, is working as a sex worker and they perform like a whole cutesy little marriage ceremony. But she that's her first time doing it, and then she quits immediately afterwards because she thought it was real. So she has a kid, and like as far as she's concerned, like that's the child she had with her husband. So when he comes back to Vietnam later with his wife from America, it causes a ton of problems. That's the plot of Miss Saigon, which of
Wow.
course itself is based on Madame Butterfly, which is about a merchant who does something very similar in Japan. And it's also very similar to the plot of a Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode where Quark gets into a bar fight with a Klingon who then falls on his own blade
I
and
forgot
dies.
about that.
Which in Klingon culture, if you kill somebody's husband, you become their husband. So that person had a wife who is now legally Quark's wife by Klingon law, even though Quark had no idea that by stopping this one person who is drunk in his bar from causing any trouble, he would end up with a wife as a result. Which he does. He ends up with legally married, as far as the Klingons are concerned, to a powerful, politically important Klingon woman. I think that's actually the first Gowron episode in all of. I think that's the episode that introduces us to Gowron and maybe Martok, maybe not, but like.
That's
It's
actually
one of the
hilarious.
early Klingon episodes for the show. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry. There's another. Yeah. This is a ding. North of the wall. Wildling custom. Where to go? Custom dictates that a person must steal another person to be wed. We talked about this a little bit, but this is a
yeah.
thing that we already had on the board.
Yes. This is part of the things that people point out thematically for Mance Rhaegar too is that technically you could apply this to Rhaegar and Lyanna if you wanted to, although the context is very different. But a lot of the wife stealing stuff is used as points in favor thematically for the similarities there. And I think actually Mance Raider performs like a version of the Dornishman's Wife song.
He
There he
does.
changes it to like the Northman's Daughter or something like that, if I recall correctly. Or at the very least, that's he performs some variation on the Dornishman's Wife.
Zach, you came within like 3 words of a ding there in that last little
Uh,
bit.
I mean, Mance Raider does go south of the wall to Winterfell. Like that's a thing he has done before.
Before that,
The Dornishman's Wife
before that,
song, The Northman's Daughter,
before that.
uh, Mance Rhaegar,
Yeah,
Rhaegar and Lyanna.
there's
Uh,
you're real close to a ding there, but you got to
I
get to
mean,
it.
many people believe that Lyanna Stark was kidnapped by Rhaegar Targaryen, even though by what the show says and by what there's some implication in the books, she might have went left willingly with him. So,
I
but it's like it seems like she was stolen away by Rhaegar.
there is another ding that you're close to, but just to touch on that, we could put that down as a thematic connection. Um and I think I'd like to actually. I'll put that down as a thematic connection that is not texturally related, but you could describe it as thematically connected. But we might have to step into some additional tinfoil for that. Many
Uh,
people believe that Rhaegar kidnapped
there are
the.
chords on the internet for the Dornishman's Wife song. Hold on. I'll just play the root note like every bass player in a song with just chords. So it's a G. Hold on. The Dornishman's wife was as fair as the sun. Oh, wait, not the Dornishman's
Zach,
wife was as fair as the sun.
I do
Her
need you to know that
kisses were warmer than spring.
this is not coming through terribly well.
That's kind of what I thought. It's a bass guitar. It's not going to get picked up super well. Uh, uh,
Do it again now. Uh This is a thematic clue.
let's.
I don't know if we can connect this, but we can come back to it.
Uh, what was I close to that was a ding?
This sentence is close to two dings actually.
I mean, uh, Rhaegar took Lyanna and brought her south, much like Jon will be doing with Vale here. He took her from the neck, from well, Heron. Well, it was attorney at Harrenhal, or
Yeah.
yeah, it was attorney at Harrenhal, all the way down to the Tower of Joy, which is in the Dornish Marches.
Ding, there it is. Uh Lyanna Stark died giving birth to Jon Snow at the Tower of Joy. Unless you are wrong.
Yeah, unless you don't believe that, in which case
There
there's a lot
is
of other things that would question what you believe. There's there's very few things that are given more evidence throughout the books that I'm aware of.
and no,
Like
that
I'm more confident in that than Euron Greyjoy summoning a giant kraken, and I'm like 100% confident in Euron Greyjoy summoning a giant
and
kraken.
I can hear you. I can hear you, you nerds. I can hear you screaming from the comments section. Well, that just means there. Well, the fact that there's so much evidence is actually point against it. It must be a red herring. No, it's actually a pretty well crafted mystery that we've just had 25 years to figure out.
Yes. We solve not every mystery is DB Cooper. Not all of them are really hard to solve.
Yeah,
Sometimes you stare at the evidence for 20 years, you figure it out.
yeah. Anyway.
R plus L equals DB.
R plus L equals DB. R plus, hang on, I can do this. I'm on a trackpad, but I can do this. Equal, we can make it look good, yeah. Oh no, is this on the, yeah, okay, this is on the screen. We are taking a detour for this. D, come on, Tom. You're almost there. It looks good. No, it looks okay. It looks fine. Give me a B. Yeah, that's fine. That'll do. There it
L
is.
equals DB. There we go. All
All
right.
right,
I
perfect. Perfect.
okay.
Zach, have we talked publicly about the background like chalkboard aesthetic as a pipe dream Patreon reward?
I don't know if yeah, where it looks more like a chalkboard, and like if you're one of our Patreon supporters, you get your name written on like faded chalkboard style, and like yeah, it would be like, and maybe if you paid extra, you get like a little drawing next to it as well, so it could be like that classic like S everybody used to do on chalkboards back in the day, or it can be an Amogus or something like that. Tom's gonna put an uwu.
Yeah, where
That's
you
a that.
Like it's just like in the background, and as we're moving to like it'll be a chalk aesthetic, and as we're moving through, we like erase it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that'd be neat.
That was your brainchild, right?
Yeah,
That's
I
so
actually
good.
drew up like a sketch version of what the chalkboard looked like. I could probably do like a better version. I like threw it together in GIMP a while ago. But yeah,
That's dang inspired, dude.
thank you. Yeah, but who
It's a
knows? Maybe
shame
we'll do
it's
that
never
someday.
gonna happen.
Uh,
I'm sorry. Turns to camera two. It's a shame it's never gonna happen without you. Subs- subscribe below and smash that like button so that
Smash the like button.
smash the like button. Smash them. Dunk 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 dunk. Anyway, Zach, there's another ding pretty close to this.
So there's another Lyanna Stark related ding
Yeah, there
here.
sure is. By the
Uh,
way, when we get to
I
the
mean,
end of
she
this,
was
it's gonna sound stupid, but then you're gonna think about it.
so Lyanna was also the Knight of the Laughing Tree. Is the other thing. Like you would have to have a really wild idea to not believe that one.
I don't
Uh,
know. There's some other.
the only
I don't
other
know.
really good candidate there is Howland Reed,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's a
But
respectable answer. Helen Reed's a fine answer.
like her being the Knight of the Laughing Tree really sets up the Rhaegar thing, right? If Rhaegar finds out that this woman's amazing at riding a horse and jousting and all that, that would all of a sudden be like, wow, that'd be impressive to Rhaegar, who wants to be this like epitome of what knightly virtue is supposed to be to an exaggerated extent, almost. Uh, he would see a woman who can joust, and it's a little like uh old school fantasy trope where like the dashing hero meets an equally dashing woman who impresses him more than any of the like fair maidens. It almost has shades of Jamie and Brienne too, which is another sort of take on
Ooh,
that
what
trope.
a fun take that is.
I like that trope a lot. I like the adventurous, charming person meets adventurous, charming woman who complements his personality. Largely because I would be like giving two thumbs up if I was in that situation. I like tropes where I can project myself into the protagonist and it's fun. Uh, but
Baby,
uh,
I'll project myself into any of your protagonists or something. I don't know.
my protagonists are going to read my fiction and you're going to be like, wow, that protagonist you wrote is hot.
You're
Because a lot of them are
goddamn
based
right I
on
am.
A lot of them are based literally on me. I'm very bad about not putting in self inserts. I just
Ba-
get away with it 'cause I'm a good writer.
something something self inserts something something. Zach, talk to me about Rhaegar Targaryen.
Rhaegar Targaryen plays a harp. So does Mance Rayder.
Zach,
Rhaegar
you're not
Targaryen.
gonna turn this into Mance Rhaegar.
Random internet guy. I'm sorry, but it's true. No, it's not. It probably, but let's
I don't
see.
know, man. The more I think about it, the more I. No, we're not doing alternate tower. We
When
can do an alternate Tower of Joy roundup after the Secret Targaryens.
well, yeah. What happened to the Tower of Joy would be a good nerd poll.
That's actually a
Um,
very fun nerd poll.
uh, maybe. Let's see. So Rhaegar Targaryen is dead, allegedly. He died on the Trident. A bunch of rubies flew off his body. Sorry, this is more Mance Rhaegar evidence because he was no, that was the rubies and hiding your identity thing. Rhaegar Targaryen already had a wife. He was already married by all legal
You know,
definitions.
we've already. It might be the exact wording might be so. It might be so close to what's already on the board that you're not saying it. Uh, what was who's Jon Snow's dad?
Oh yeah, Rhaegar Targaryen is believed by many correct people to be the father of Jon Snow.
Jon Snow's father. Oh, will you please though? Maybe Jon Snow's father, Rhaegar Targaryen, is known for his beautiful blonde hair. and
Vale
that
Targaryen.
and that's it. That's all he's known for.
Nothing else.
Say that last bit again.
Vale
What
Targaryen.
makes you say that?
Because this is giving me similar vibes to the Craster Targaryen theory here.
Why would you say
Uh,
Val Targaryen, Zach?
uh, well, who are Vale's parents canonically?
No, why literally right now? Why would you say Val?
Because Val has the right hair color to be a Targaryen, which
I'm
is
literally
all you need.
I'm gonna quote directly. Val also has blonde hair.
A Song of Ice and Fire fans when they see a blonde person.
Zach, though I know that you want it to be, this is not Val Targaryen.
I would have lost my goddamn mind. Wait, we're well into the video. I would have lost my fucking mind.
Although I do have to say, we could come back to that in additional tinfoil, maybe. Like it's a little weird. Val's weird, right? She's very
Val is weird.
strange.
Yeah, for someone to be like, she like kind of her traits aren't what you would expect from a wildling woman. You would expect them to like. Egret's kind of hardy. She's pretty, but she's not pretty in the Westerosi sense. She would look. They comment about this in the show and in the books. How odd it would be to see her in like a dress, living like a lady to some lord somewhere. It just would not suit her, sort of thing. They like John and Egret think that's a funny thing to talk about. Val, not that she isn't like a strong character in her own right, but she seems more like the type who you could see pulling that sort of thing off. The idea of her as a princess is not as hard of a sell.
Yeah, like if someone said Egret is a princess, everyone would probably like laugh it off. Her as well. She's
Maybe
much
a
closer
princess
to
of kicking your ass,
yeah.
but like,
She's much more like Asha than she is like I don't know Sansa. Uh,
yeah,
but Val, like if someone's like when people say princess, they mean it when they're talking about Val,
yes.
which is uh relevant. Wait a minute, hang on. Do I have? If I don't have that line in here, I should. Yes, yes, I do have that line. Yeah. It'll go up here. Yeah. Val is the sister of Mance Raider. Mance Raider's wife. Uh, she is often called the Wildling Princess.
Interesting. Yeah. And like the idea of royalty in, the wildling world is usually pretty fraught. Like, we do not kneel and all that. It's rare that a king beyond the wall rises up and unites all the people. And it's usually under times of like great hardship, but they all come together. As Mance says, do you know why they all decided to call me king? It's because I told them if they didn't, we would all die, or something of that sort. But the level of respect given to Val is kind of an anomaly in wildling society to begin with. The fact that they're giving her an honorable title and all that. But I think people just seem to genuinely really like Val. And John is also like, we should talk about one of our favorite scenes. John getting his opinion changed by time traveling Bran inside of Ghost, because John also thinks Vale is kind of awesome. John thinks about this, and like when given this offer, like him being married and ruling Winterfell with Val seems like an awesome life to him. He would be happy to do that. And he only has his mind changed by an exceptionally cute dog.
Bark, bark, bark,
Uh,
bark.
bark, bark, bark. Yeah.
So
This is
Zach,
all
amusingly, we're actually running out of clues here pretty fast. Uh,
serious.
there is one external piece, but if I tell you what it is, the you will 100% immediately get the theory. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let you
Is
flounder a
it?
little bit until you ask for
Is
a clue.
it? Is it Shakespeare?
It is not Shakespeare.
Is it The Princess Bride?
It is not the Princess Bride. Though
Interesting.
we can talk about the Princess Bride later.
Because technically, The Princess Bride also has like a kidnapping thing going on with the Dread Pirate
The
Roberts, who
Princess
later ends up
Bride
being
does
Joffrey.
have kind of a like
Romantic kidnapping.
yeah. I guess that is a genre. Is ugh, that is kind of a trope. Ugh, gross.
It is a very gross trope
Oh
that
no. By the way,
like
the external the external one is more famous than any of those, and also involves romantic kidnapping.
it
But
what? Hold on. Well, I can't think. I'm not up to date on my romantic kidnapping lore. A quote I never thought I would say.
and I'll put that in the corner. I'm not up to date on my. This is a good meta. We should put quotes in the corners on my romantic kidnapping lore.
Should we do the like turns to camera two moralize don't kidnap people thing? We're not encouraging this. Please don't kid. Zach turns to camera two. Don't kidnap people.
Turn
Don't like abduction is wrong.
turns to
Don't do it.
camera two.
It's not cool. It's
Don't
not romantic. Don't do it.
don't do that. You know what? Actually, it's funnier just like this. There we go. Getting the oh, it's staying there. I can't do anything about it now.
It's just that that's where it is. That's where
There
it
it
landed.
is.
That's where it stays.
There it
We've
is.
never moved things on this board before,
Correct.
obviously. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Uh,
instead of going for that, there is another. So as I said to you in the recording that is lost and no one will ever hear the jokes from, um, this theory is kind of in two parts. One is thematic, and we've gotten a lot of the theming down. The other is predictive. Uh, and I think that I like there is going to be something that happens because of what we're talking about today.
what if John decides to like have his cake and eat it too, sort of. He wants to be a lord who's married to Val, and he wants to be in charge of the Night's Watch and do the right thing. What if he decides to do both? Like we've talked about Lady Stoneheart having Rob's crown and John very likely being Rob's heir. It's possible that he decides to become king of the North and fight against the others and do the right thing until he's no longer needed in charge of the Night's Watch. And then afterwards, he might just say, "Hey Val, let's go down and help my cousin claim her spot on the Iron Throne or something," and she goes down with him. It's not impossible. And if we're taking the show to be largely canon, which we maybe uh, uh, you know, there's reasons to and reasons not to do that, I should say. Uh, that could fit in with where this narrative is going.
Take with a grain of salt. Take anything from the show with a grain of salt. I like that. That's an interesting take, but not what I'm looking for.
Uh, Interesting.
Zach,
Di-
would you like a card?
yeah, yes, I was about to say, deal me a card because I'm lost.
All right. Would you like the one related to Val or not related to Val?
Give me one related to Val.
Okay. Throughout most of A Dance with Dragons, Val is a captive within the King's Tower at Castle Black.
Oh, is this Sleeping Beauty? A Rapunzel?
Ding! You had me confused on. I was thinking about Sleeping Beauty there for a second, but yes, ding! Tell me about Rapunzel.
Rapunzel lives in a tower, can't quite escape it on her own, but she has very long hair, and one day a guy climbs up her exceptionally long hair and frees her from the tower, and that's apparently enough for Rapunzel to wed this man, despite the fact his only stated character trait was breaking and entering.
Rapunzel is a woman locked in a tower from birth. A prince climbed her golden hair and rescued her. I think you could whole shot where I'm going here.
Yeah, I think the idea here is that John might rescue her from the tower, and that's considered marrying her.
Um,
Uh,
not exactly.
or somebody.
That was where I started with this. There are no other external players. Uh, but I that's not where I ended up because
So
John's dead.
John is dead.
John's
Yeah,
dead, and
but
and
call back the
John
princess. And
died. Oh, go ahead.
there's a big difference between mostly dead and completely dead.
How dare you? First
Uh,
off, second off, John died at the foot of John died at the foot of the King's Tower, and there is a riot that's about to happen at Castle Black.
because it's going to be the John like supporters versus the John non supporters. The wildlings are in the mix. There's the fact that multiple people just broke their oaths by murdering him, but they will also say that they're upholding their oaths because John was breaking his oath. There's a lot of like political turmoil about to play out.
Uh, by the way, Blonde, um, I think that um, what would you say? You ready for this? What would you say if I flipped it?
Where Rapunzel is the one saving the person on the ground.
I
It's a
think,
really
I think. What if I gave you one of these? Shoot. Uh,
reverse Rapunzel.
Bran Stark falls from the broken tower, which
Bran Stark just gets saved by hair.
which the broken tower has not been plot significant since the first book, in spite of the fact that they keep mentioning it. Theon mentions it in A Dance with Dragons. And Bran and Luwin mention it in A Clash of Kings. They keep bringing it up, and it hasn't been significant yet since. Let me give you a pitch here. I know this sounds weird, but just bear with me here for a second. Um, John is resurrected, makes his way to Winterfell, and either is literally taken captive and held in the Broken Tower, or goes like fire white kind of crazy and like high tower kind of crazy in the Broken Tower. And Val, the wildling princess, hang on, let me underline a word here. Shoot, right there. The wildling princess climbs into the tower and thematically saves him from that.
So it's a reversal
Yeah, yeah.
of the trope.
It's a reverse Rapunzel. The princess comes and
The
saves John.
right, yeah. Val is the one who saves John and walks him back from this fire white mess that he becomes.
Yeah,
And how it helps him channel his undead evil into a positive light. Instead of him becoming Stoneheart 2.0, he becomes more or less closer to Azor Ahai,
and
more or Last Hero or whatever you want to call him.
and when she gets him back and gets him out, like maybe they spirit through the same window that um Bran fell from, uh they then are married as they flee together. And Val like cracks a joke and says, I hope you don't treat me gently like all your southern ladies." Snaps bonds now that we're married.
Oh, that's really funny.
Isn't that fun? I kind of like that as the conclusion to this trope. This
Yeah.
like this deeply like in most circumstances upsetting and problematic trope that we are dealing with in A Song of Ice and Fire, this kidnapping trope, John as either a literal or thematic captive. I've been imagining it as a literal captive, like he's literally in bonds while he's going fire white crazy, while like the remnants of Ramsay's forces or Stannis's forces, or maybe whoever is holding Winterfell, the remnants of them are holding this terrifying zombie who they think is a white, holding him captive in the top, and Val Sly Cooper platforms her way up, snaps his bonds, throws a quip at him, and leads him out the window.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot, actually. I don't know how much I believe it, but it's very it's a subversion on a classic fairy tale and like trope, which of course, as we say often, is very George Martin-y,
It's very Gurmy.
and very Gurmy, and it's just a fun thing to do with both these characters. And I think that I could maybe see it happening, and if it does, it'd be neat. Rapunzel, but with the roles reversed, and with a neat little, I guess technically we're married now thing going on.
Yeah, and they grin at each other, and then they run. And there's for a long time we have been like between the two of us we've been speculating on what the last battle is going to look like. Um and I think that the Bad Dragon Show is an extremely bad dragon show in the way that it executed this. The long night is stopped at Winterfell. I think that it's more likely that the White Walkers like roll up all human resistance, and Winterfell is actually one of the first things to fall. Um, and maybe Val rescues John, and they are escaping, and maybe they regroup at like Moat Cailin. Uh, and they're like making plans to get back into Winterfell, against whoever has taken it. Maybe Euron's forces. And then Winterfell falls to the others while they're at Moat Cailin or something.
I could, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I agree that the Battle of Winterfell is purely a show invention.
Yeah.
That they needed to hurry up the story. It makes less sense for there to be like if there is a climactic battle there, it's on the pushback. It's after they've been pushed way further south than that.
I rather like the idea of shall we say, a sacrificial POV. Someone who maybe Theon dying in Winterfell. Um he dies at Winterfell defending his home, giving other people the opportunity to escape somehow. Because we
Yeah,
have to see Winterfell fall. We can't hear about it. We have to see it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Theon. Maybe Asha. Maybe who else is up there? Maybe I don't know. The other Asha.
yeah,
Though she's a
uh,
Grumpkin.
yeah. She is a grumpkin. This is where our theories start to have some unintended messages in them when they start to cross over like this.
No,
Uh,
as we've established in the Branos theory, these are just different iterations.
Different timelines. Yes,
Yeah.
that's fair. Uh, all
With
right,
time
I'm on
travel,
board
all
with
things are not possible but necessary.
that. Did I ever tell you, since we're winding this down, wrapping this up, did I ever tell you that there is still hung up on the wall in here my roommate's plan for how they should have actually fought the Battle of Winterfell? Like he was very upset by the military tactics they used, and he just one day blew these giant post-it note papers, and he just one day like just walked through while drawing like battle formations and plans on this giant post-it note how the show should have handled the Battle of Winterfell and how they could have minimized casualties.
I imagine while angrily ranting.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Of course. There's no way to talk about season 8 without angrily ranting.
Oh my god. Zach, I think that's our show.
I think that's our show.
I what do you think?
I like it. I don't. This is what I have to think about a little bit more because it's a lot to digest, like from all the different avenues and angles. I think any theory that has a little bit of like thematic parallels to something else, you need to chew on for a little bit to see like is that a if you're ever paralleling things, especially this not only parallels Rapunzel, this parallels like one of the cruxes of the stories,
Yeah,
Lyanna and Rhaegar.
yeah, sure
If you're
does.
gonna do something like that, it has to really add to the narrative. I think this does, but I need to chew on it a little longer.
And it makes for a good conclusion both to Jon Snow struggling with his oath and to this whole wildling wedding thing.
Yeah, the
Which
that
again
concludes.
they keep bringing up.
Yeah, uh, he doesn't want to marry Val because they would make him give up his vows. But in this way, he kind of gets a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think that Jon does not marry Val, Val marries Jon. That's our show.
Yeah, yeah,
Have a good day.
yeah. Have a good day. Remember to there's a poll in the comments, and you can subscribe, and there's a bell thingy too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.